What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the idea of the multiverse in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's a kind of under-the-radar story that came out today, and this comes from a description of a Miles, like a figurine, 6 inches. It actually looks pretty darn cool, but its description is making people question, okay, did they take like something from Into the Spider-Verse? Like, is it that they're inserting in? But this is Miles, to make it clear before we read the description. This is Miles from the game. So it says, Miles is the newest Spider-Man who discovers allies and enemies across the multiverse and at home in New York while working with his mentor, Peter Parker. It goes on to talk about like loadouts, like the Venom abilities. I think some of that equipment comes with this figurine, so you can kind of swap it in and out. But ultimately, that is the most interesting part of the entire thing, right? So he meets friends and enemies in the multiverse, but like here, he's in New York with Peter. So there's a couple of things you got to obviously discuss at that point, right? What's the time period? That's the first thing that I think of is there an event that happens in between, I guess in this case, Miles and then Spider-Man 2, Marvel Spider-Man. I do have to say Marvel every time we say it, but between Miles and Spider-Man 2, does something happen, or does what's taking place in this game, is this actually multiverse? So the first thing to probably think about is, can this game handle a multiverse on top of the very little we know, granted, but what it would already be doing, right? So obviously, like the trailer being pitched primarily on Venom. Now, of course, some people skip over Craven being the one to narrate it, so obviously you'd probably have the dual kind of villain thing. Can you have both of them? And it can also be a multiverse story. Well, I'll tell you from Reddit, where this thing kind of gained traction, a lot of people very anti it. And I don't necessarily blame them. Look, it's Insomniac. I have a lot of faith in Insomniac. I think they're one of the better. If you're looking at like AAA developers, I think they're one of the best out there. So if anybody can do it, it would be them. I'm not like fully burned out on multiverse. I think you're seeing that, right? Where it's like, oh, come on, more multiverse stuff. I get it. I'm not like thrilled that everything has to be part of a multiverse. But at the same time, I don't think, as of right now, to me personally, I don't think it's overstayed its welcome. I would just say, can they actually handle all the elements? But again, like if it isn't a multiverse and Venom and Craven are just part of it, but the multiverse is the bigger thing, I guess that, well, not only does that make sense in a way, right? They haven't talked about it. Why haven't they talked about it? Well, I mean, that would be a pretty big thing that you would imagine the next time they show it or when they re-reveal it or whatever. If that's a huge theme of this game, that it's a multiverse game, that would be something. I saw one comment that talked about, how do you make New York different, right? There's always been that debate. Well, this is largely going to be, you'd imagine, at least right now, right? You imagine the same map. So when it comes to this game, well, how do you, spice it up? How do you change it? Well, you can only add so much until you're not in that setting anymore. But if you're in a multiverse, well, maybe different areas are changed, right? Different things are going on. That would be a way to spice it up. I'm not necessarily suggesting they're doing it because of that, but I do think it actually would solve that age-old issue, dilemma that we've kind of talked about on and off. I think it would fix it. So at this point, I mean, I do believe the description is real. I think it's accurate. I guess it's possible it could be a mistake. I mean, we have seen kind of typos in official reports, or actually we saw that yesterday with an EA thing, right? They slipped in the wrong game, or a game that didn't even need to be in the report in the first place. So these things can be mistakes, but if it's not a mistake, then you got to decide, okay, is the theme of this game the multiverse? Or is it something where they're trying to tie it in with the movies? Now, people have suggested that, right? Maybe they're just kind of saying, well, these characters, we know because of the trailer for the second one, right, that they are in the movie universe. I mean, they're all kind of connected. So is that what they're referencing? Are they referencing just simply as a fact that this Miles and this Peter, they are part of the larger multiverse, right? And they're just kind of throwing that in there. It could be that. And I kind of would want it to be that, just so maybe we can do a multiverse in a different game, just focus on Craven and Venom. Or is it because it's literally a main theme of the game? I don't know. One of the two, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're all subscribed, bell icon turned on. If you want to check out any of my other YouTube channels, our TikTok, our Discord, all my social media is in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.